Well, good morning. It's Mornings with James, part two of the interviews this morning. Look, I've got some great people in the studio with me this morning. You know, I'm a huge advocate of healthy living, creating time, and just going to that next level. And I've managed to find somebody, another one of these amazing people that I could bring into the program and hang out with. And she is just all glittery, and I've got to be sure where I put my eyes because her son Mason's with her this morning. Got to keep me in line. It's Mornings with James, being joined by Brandy. Brandy, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Great to have you on.
Thank
and
you.
Mason, you're the bodyguard this morning, right?
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, and so this is your son,
He is.
and he is one of your big supporters. I see him
Absolutely.
on your Facebook page. He comes along with a lot of the events and
He
stands
does.
next to you on stage.
And
so
a
he's-
lot of pictures too.
a lot of pictures. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Brandy, what are you all about? What is your story? I understand that you're this gorgeous model of a woman, but
Thank you.
you looked a little different a few years back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the journey. Who is Brandy and what does she do?
Well, I started out at 285 pounds was my highest weight, and I went through a huge transformation physically and mentally, obviously. I started out by just walking. I had a lady that works with me, Michelle is her name actually,
Yeah.
and she had invited me into the gym, and I work actually up north, so I work with a lot of gentlemen,
Yeah.
and I would go in at 4 o'clock in the morning and just walk on the treadmill.
At
how I
4
started.
o'clock in the morning.
That's
So
right.
285 pounds.
Mhm.
How long ago was this?
Well, I've kind of yo-yoed up and down, to be honest, just like everybody else.
I mean, it's a very normal thing, you know. As
Mhm.
I do health coaching, and you kind of seen my journey, and you know, there's a little bit of a fluctuation, but
Absolutely.
it's the goal of moving forward. It's that constant moving forward
True.
that really defines us in our lifestyle. But how long did it take you to go from? I mean, because you're a very tiny woman.
Thank you.
You know, you know, don't take it the wrong way. I never intend to sound sexist at all, but I'm sitting next to this beautiful woman who's in the bikini, and we're talking about fitness modeling and things like that. Did I get that right? Fitness modeling?
I'm actually a bikini model.
A bikini model.
Yes.
Okay, so
I have tried fitness.
and they're different things, right? We'll get to that in a second.
Absolutely.
But okay, so how long ago did you begin this journey to bring you to where you are now?
I would say approximately 5 years ago, and then I bounced back. So this time has been 3 years in the process.
3 years. You know, it's amazing how many of us have sat down and said, you know, oh, I wish I could lose weight, wish I could lose weight. I know for myself and my journey, for many years, I was what we call fit fat.
Right.
I worked out all the time, worked out 5-6 days a week. I was very strong, but I was fat.
It's true.
I was probably about 30% body fat. And it wasn't until I made a radical change and got into nutritional ketosis and actually learning about that that I found something that really worked for me. Aside from walking, what worked for you, and why did you want to make that change?
This guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
He was my biggest reason.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't even go up the stairs without losing my breath. My
Oh,
knees
wow.
hurt. You know how it is.
Yeah,
I've seen
absolutely.
the transformation.
Now, she's all okay and fine. And
Yeah.
now I work out with her too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
excellent. Mason, how old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
10 years old, and you know, is it tough being the 10-year-old, almost like fan club of this person that's in the spotlight?
No,
Is
it's,
it tough?
it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
fantastic. You've got a medal on there. What is that from?
It is from IDFA, which she won.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so there, you know, there are all these different acronyms. This one is IDFA Calgary. Was this May?
This was in May.
This was in May. Natural bodybuilding, physique, figure, fitness model, and bikini championships, the Transformation Challenge, and you were the winner. Now, when people go on your Facebook page, and we'll be sure to tag you in this, it is really something else. And I've had like Kim on the program, I have Karen Alexander on the program, women who, you know, in their, you know, 40s, 50s, who go on these amazing journeys, but everyone's journey is a little bit different.
They are.
How is that for you? Like when I look at, you know, obviously you're about 13 weeks out, I think you said, from going to
Yes.
Toronto. and Toronto is going to be the what is
The
it?
UFE.
The UFE. That's coming up in Toronto. That is the Ultimate Fitness Events, and you're going to be competing in what? In bikini again?
I'm going to do glamour and bikini. I guess everyone knows now because I didn't actually sign up for it yet, but I am going to be
Oh.
competing.
Okay, sorry, cat's out of the bag.
It's all good. Yes, so I'm going to be in glamour, and what happens there is you wear a costume, like a
Wonder
Victoria's
Woman or
Secret
whatever.
model,
Or
Wonder-
Victoria's Secret.
Absolutely.
I'm like skimpier than this.
A little bit, maybe some wings, and I did bring some wings today. If you wanted to
Yeah.
try them on later.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that's that would be pretty
Are you
interesting.
blushing?
Probably. You have no idea. Like, I interview a lot of great people, but it's still one of the biggest challenges a guy can have is to sit next to a scantily dressed woman and maintain the dialogue moving forward, especially with her son here. You know, it's one of those things, and the show is all about inspiration and motivation, right?
Absolutely.
And when we talk about these fitness models, bikini model events, they are an extreme challenge.
Absolutely.
Like, and I've seen a lot of your pictures on Facebook, and I mean, absolutely fantastic. But it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard. Why bother doing it? I mean, it's one thing to be in shape. You know, it's one thing, like I talk about, for those that follow me on Instagram and Facebook, I talk about getting out and doing stairs.
Yes.
You know, and doing 6 laps and being able to run this and just go to that next level. And I share that because I hope to inspire people to go to that next level. I have people like you on the program in hopes of inspiring people to go to the next level, but really it's kind of insane. It is really, because what you go through it's I guess some might say it's hard, but like what's a workout regimen like? What's do you do nutritional ketosis, or how do you get to where you are? How do you get that lean where when you flex, like you can see, you get these awesome shoulders and this awesome back?
Yes.
How do you get there?
So after competition, you take time to reverse diet,
Yeah.
and then you start building again. And you want to get muscle because you lose muscle as you lean out.
Yeah.
So when I start to build, I get a little bit fluffier, maybe a little more self-conscious, but
Yeah.
that's part of the
When
process.
you say fluffy, so when you're leaning out, you're is that calorie reduced dieting, things like that, to lean down to get the fat down and everything?
You will take away some of your nutrition, but keep eating the same foods and same values that you would eat any other time. It would just be a lesser amount.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
you're almost in sort of a nutritional ketosis where your body then
You can
takes
say
that takes that fat layer down. I'm a
Absolutely.
huge advocate of ketosis. For one, when you're healthy enough for it, and I always say this, healthy enough for it, it is such an effective way of leaning out. The body just looks great.
Absolutely.
And I know even for myself and for some of the fitness models that I've worked with, the transformation is mind-blowing. But it takes a certain focus, it takes a certain dedication to yourself. And working out's a huge part of it, but also diet's a huge part of it. What does a day in the life of Brandy look like?
Well, I usually get up and do some cardio in the morning. I do it at home because
Yeah.
I have the means. I have a treadmill and a FX machine.
Yeah.
And sometimes my son comes with me or he sleeps in while I do it.
And like, what time would this be?
Well, various. If I'm at work, since I do work up north, like I
Yeah.
said, then it's usually about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow! So it's not an unusual thing. This is like wake up and go work out at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
And if it's at home, maybe around 5 or 6.
That's
And I
right.
Yeah.
sometimes go with her too.
That's right.
Wow, that's great. You're 10 years old and you're working out. I mean, it's one thing that I think we always talk about this generation as being the video game generation. You probably
Sure.
still play video games.
Yes, I love
Absolutely.
video games. I mostly do that.
But yeah, but you're getting up and you're getting out. You're working
It's
out.
healthy for you.
It
Yeah.
is.
And I
That's
play a
right.
lot of video games though too.
That's
Yeah.
A
right.
lot.
Yeah, And so you've got the cardio component. What
Yes.
about, you talk about being fluffy, but I mean, you're rocking the shoulders,
Thank
biceps, the tris are looking good. And I've seen the pictures and stuff like that. So you do a lot of weightlifting?
I actually do, and I actually go to Anytime Fitness on the west side here when I am home, and that is a
I love
great
CJ.
gym. I love that gym.
She's so fantastic.
Absolutely, and you go in and it's
That's
just
that's
like
my home
cheers.
gym as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen you there.
I know I've been going in as much as I should, and CG bugs me about that all the time. So, yeah,
Well, now you're
yeah.
current, right?
Well, because it's summertime, and there is no substitute for stairs. You can run on a treadmill, but it's not the same as doing 250 meters of stairs.
That's right. Those stairs are pretty intense.
I've seen
fun.
her before. It looks like she's really sweating.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go run stairs this morning after this.
Well, let's go.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
my high heels.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were talking about the YWCA event, walk a mile in her heels, or whatever, however that goes. The specific wording. I'm actually hoping to have somebody from the YWCA
That
on,
would be great.
but that'll be a plug for that fundraiser for the YWCA. But yeah, I don't think I'd run it in heels. Definitely running shoes.
Yes, that would be
definitely.
wise.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
I noticed that in the competition, you guys have, like, the women are very much in the high heels.
Yes.
Like, every woman, I think, maxes out her high heels.
They have a specific type that you need to wear in different federations. If you're in bodybuilding, the ladies do not wear high heels.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tend to be quite a bit bigger in the bodybuilding.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the different categories, because I'm familiar with them, but I'm only familiar with them by the name. And you talk about, fitness is one category, bikinis another category, and then
Yes.
glamour.
Yes.
What is there different training that goes in?
There is, for sure. That's why it's really important, I think, to have a coach, and they know the specifics. There's different kinds of coaches, people for just weight loss, nutrition, or people that specifically are for competition as well. And
Yeah.
I've went through a lot of coaches, actually.
Yeah. Who's your favorite? Now, I don't want to mention any names because I don't want to kind of get anyone in trouble or whatever.
Yes.
Can you say who you currently work with? Who's your fan, if you want to mention?
Well, I was kind of keeping it a secret because I had changed coaches
Okay.
due to personal issues.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, you know what? Hey, we don't want to. I'm not here to embarrass, and I'm not here to
No.
put other people down and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
I know that some of the coaches that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, because of the results that they produce.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't actually do any work with them at all,
That's
but
right.
I do a lot of work, or I've interviewed a lot of their athletes, and I'm just always amazed.
Yes.
I'm always amazed at how small that world is.
Absolutely. And every coach I've had has brought me something that I have learned, and I'm so grateful to them. And if you read my Facebook page, I actually mention every coach I've went with
Yeah.
and what they've brought to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're learning as you go,
Absolutely.
and I think that's really important. Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
How old are you?
Oh, do you ask a lady how old they are?
I
How do
actually,
you
I
think
always,
am?
I always ask, I always ask athletes how old they are, because one of the big things is that people out there, I'm 52 years old,
Yes.
just about 52,
Yeah.
and I still push myself really hard.
Yes.
I might not be in the best shape that I want to be in, but it's really easy for me to change that through ketosis. That said, I think when people look and they go like, well, oh, she can do it because she's young. I can't do it because I'm old. When you say, okay, I'm 35 years old and, I'm in the best shape of my life, or I'm 45 years old, or I'm 52 years old, or 55 years old, I think that helps connect people.
It does. I think you're right.
I have no idea how old you are, by the way.
It's okay. I'm proud to say I'm 42 years old, and
Oh, wow.
I have a 10-year-old son. You bet.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we think about this, and a lot of times people really define themselves by their age, and they will say, hey, I can't do that, I'm too old. Or oh, I shouldn't do this, I'm too old. But, I sat here with Brad Wall yesterday from the Progressive Fighting Academy, and he's in his early 40s.
Yeah,
He
I saw that.
looks fantastic.
He sure does.
As you look fantastic as
Thank you.
well. But we realize things that we can't do at our age, and he and I was goofing around with him at a social event we were at on Saturday, and I was doing my thing, which is hypnosis and centering,
Yeah.
and I was letting him kick me, and
Wow.
oh yeah, about 10 times, and each time he did it, he got harder and harder and harder. And for other people at the party, it was kind of scary, but for me, it's something that I can do because I
Right.
know that my fitness is good enough and my center is good enough, and I don't
Right.
ever want to do something to hurt myself. I've hurt myself plenty in my career of trying to be athletic or being athletic. So I'm all about I recognize my age, but at the same time I also recognize my infinite potential.
Right.
And with somebody like yourself, when we talk about getting into that extreme shape,
Right.
and I mean some of the you look at the leanness when you're standing on stage. When you guys were both standing on stage, Mason was on stage with you.
Yeah.
I was.
I mean, you were rocking it.
And
Thank you
also,
very much.
number one rule is always never give up. And
Yeah.
always believe in
That's
yourself.
right.
You gotta
Love
gotta listen to the 10-year-old here. Never give up. Well, you're absolutely right, because you think about that journey from 285 pounds 5 years ago,
Yes.
and then getting to that mark 3 years ago where something clicked,
Yes.
and then moving forward. By the way, how much did that change your life?
It changed it immensely. If I can mention somebody's
Yeah.
name, actually, Elvis Lyons was
Yeah.
the one that recommended me to start getting into shape because I had
I've
let
known
him
Elvis
know.
for years.
Yeah, he's a great gentleman.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to be a WWE diva, House of
Yeah.
Lee, but that's one
Yeah.
of my dreams. And he pointed me to Sandy, and
Yeah.
she's a great trainer.
Yeah.
And she helped me out losing a lot of weight.
Oh, yes, Sandy's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great. That was one
Yeah.
person that helped me out.
And so you get on this journey, but like we talked about, it's hard. And I used this phrase yesterday, indomitable spirit. So many times people start on these journeys and they kind of fall off.
Yes.
What is it that keeps Brandy focused on it? Because like I said, it's hard. It's easy for us to keep being the way we are, but it's hard to change.
It
What
is.
keeps you going?
I have passion for it, and I really love how I feel. I feel
Yeah.
more confident. I could never sit here in a bikini in front of who knows how many people are watching, even if there's just
about
one.
yeah, there's only about 40,000. So
Oh dear.
yeah.
You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And before I couldn't do that. And now I feel confident enough that I can. And if somebody tells me that I can't do something, that actually gives me more drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, what do you think for women who are, and I know so many who have come through their 30s and they make these life changes. They get divorced or they have a relationship change.
Yes.
They were in frumpy mode,
Yes.
and then they become these sort of elite goddess athletes. Well, god or goddess athletes.
Oh,
Male,
boy.
women and men go through it equally. There's something about that time, but then there's keeping up with it
Absolutely.
and maintaining it and moving forward. How do you see the shift from how you felt about yourself at 285 to how you feel about yourself now? And I know, we talked about this before, and that self-conscious, when you're lean and everything like that, and then all of a sudden, you're in between. How does that self-acceptance change? How does it change for Brandy?
I've actually realized that it's helping me be a better person. When I get a bit fluffy, I need that to get more muscle. I need that to get my confidence back. I love the journey. I love the process. And every time I see a better improvement about myself,
Yeah.
and it just makes me want to strive to be a better person. I notice it in my job. I'm more confident. I can talk to clients. I can, I'm a safety person, so I
Okay.
can tell them about safety like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And before I might not have. I might have shied away and even talking to them because my size, 62 coveralls would make me just cringe, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
also, what I mean is always be confident in yourself.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that's how she's doing all this, and she's
Thank
confident.
you.
Yeah. How did you get that confidence though? Like where did that really come from? Like, and I guess the thing is we're gonna have people watching, women watching, will say, well, yeah, easy for her to do it, and they just see it all the time,
Wasn't easy.
right? But it's like it's like on my journey, it took that special moment where I've just oh man, I'm just sick and tired of this. I
Yes.
need to make a change.
Yes.
For you, was it not just not being able to keep up with Mason,
Yes.
and not just about being the best mom you can be,
Yes.
but there's something else there, right? Because how did you get to 285? There's something in that character makeup that held you back. And is it
Absolutely.
were you a? Can I ask a personal question?
You can ask me anything.
Was a lot of times we have weight issues. It's because we're protecting ourselves.
True.
And was that? Are you a survivor? Were you protecting yourself from something, and then got to a point in your life where you realized, I don't need to protect myself anymore. I am enough.
And you're better than that. Yes.
Yeah.
There was a moment I was in a bad relationship and it ended, which was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, but at the time I didn't think it was, so that made me overeat, and I got into that eat when you're depressed and
Yeah.
sad kind
It's
of
a really
state.
common thing.
It is. And then I started losing weight and my father passed away.
Oh,
I
so sorry.
Thank you.
My grandpa.
Yeah.
That's right. I ended up giving him CPR on the front lawn and he passed away there. So then I spiraled again, gained 20 pounds back again. So
Yeah.
life happens. And don't give up though. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It you have setbacks and things happen, and I actually went and competed the first time. I look at those pictures now and I think, wow, that was me. Like, why did I even get on stage? But I'm glad that I did, because now I know I can be better than that and keep striving. And one of the most important things I think in weight loss is pictures and measurements where you start.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do all of that, and now I see the benefits from it from ongoing through the process.
There's something about knowing where you're at and where you want to go.
Yes.
There's something definitely about that. We had this conversation before, and it's there's that comparative, and you said, well, I don't know if I want to come on the program, and I said, where, like, you've got these great bikinis, wear your bikini, like, why not? This is what you do, right? And you kind of question that, and then this morning we talked about it a little bit more. I think it speaks volumes. You have to be really comfortable in your own skin.
It's true.
And whether you're 285 or whether you're 125, there's something about being able to just take your clothes off and say, "Yep, there's my body. I made that," and I got to be happy with it,
It's true.
right? Because when you do
Yes.
any journey, it has to be from self-love.
It's true. And another thing that I've gone through is I have a lot of scars. I have scars from a C-section, scars. I had a breast reduction. A lot of women are scared of their scars. When
Yeah.
you go on stage, these women are so confident and happy with their bodies. They did not get those scars from somebody putting them on them. It's part of their journey.
Yeah.
Be proud of it,
Yeah.
right? That's what
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's a great message there. Be proud of who you are. Your scars are your life journey, and I mean, I've
True.
got scars from being in a firearms accident when I was 14 years old, and when I got to be 15, 16, 17, I was really self-conscious because it was like I was very athletic
Right.
and very lean, and then these scars, which are very, very big,
Right.
they change how your abs come in, they change everything.
True.
And I had a really hard time with it. And then when I was my fit fat self, the scars were even worse.
Really.
But you have to look at it and you go like, well, wait a minute, stop. Self-acceptance. Like this
True.
this is me. I can change it, I can enhance it, but really I've got to start from loving who I am first.
Yes.
And then I can make the changes for the right reason, not because I require validation.
It's true.
You know, although, you know, you go from 285 down to where you are now, there's, what, did validation play a role in that, or was it from self-love?
I think a little of both, actually.
Yeah, it's hard to separate
It
the two
is.
sometimes.
It is. And I found once I started accepting who I am, I became more confident.
Yeah.
I could do more things. Before I couldn't even do one pull-up. Now I can do 20, 25.
Wow.
But just start with one, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And-
Do little baby steps. If you can't fit into your jeans, buy that smaller size. If you want to see that you're going to fit into them, visualize it in your head. My coach actually is Brian Mark, and
Okay.
he is amazing for visualization and self-confidence, and he checks in with you every day. Sometimes you just need a coach or a friend. If you can't afford a coach, get a
me,
friend.
because
Yeah.
I'm very good.
I have
Yeah.
a great friend here. You know, he helps me out. But also, I am trying to help people on their journeys, and
Yeah.
I've chosen a few of my acquaintances, and I'm actually helping them start on the right path.
Yeah.
I'm not a fitness coach or anything, but I sure will give you some information that what has worked for me and helped me in my journey might not necessarily work for you, but if you're open to opinions, give
Yeah.
me a call.
Absolutely fantastic. We'll be sure to share your information here. Brandy, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
the
you
program
very
this
much.
morning and sharing. Look at
Thank
these,
you.
look at these forearms. Just absolutely fantastic. Mason, thanks for having her back and being in her corner, and thank you very much for coming on the program and wearing the medal.
Also, always set a goal for yourself.
That's true.
Always set a goal, and you know when you're setting those goals, always the difference between ones that you achieve and ones you don't. The goals that you achieve, they've got to be graphic, they've got to be vivid, they've got to be reasonable, and they have to come from here. They've got to be just something that you're passionate about, right? So just keep that in mind when you set your goals. And you know, as Brandy indicated too, she didn't do it all by herself. She's connected with people. She's connected with some great people. So by all means, talk about community, get out, get connected, and get inspired. Absolutely get inspired, because at the end of the day, you're absolutely worth it. Thank you guys very much for coming on the program, and you guys for joining in this morning. More fun still to come this week. I don't know who my guest will be tomorrow. Maybe it'll just be me recapping the week, but I'm waiting to hear back. We're going to be we're going to have some hot topics coming up the next week as well. So make sure you tune in for that. Until we get a chance to connect together again, by all means, stay inspired. Bye for now.